Good morning, everyone on the West Coast, and good afternoon, everyone on the East Coast. This is John Garmendi, Business Development Manager with Sony's Professional Solutions. Thank you for joining us today. Another one in our series of webinars. This is actually the sixth in our Tech Tuesday webinars. The series was created in response to the COVID crisis, so that we can continue to maintain contact with our customers, our channel partners, and our consultants. This afternoon, joining me will be Bob Manis, Senior Sales Support Engineer for the South Zone. Bob has over 20 years experience in sales and engineering in both professional AV and broadcast products. Joining us as well is Anthony Cianfrano, our product manager for Pro Bravia and Business Projectors. This afternoon's webinar will focus on our business projector lineup of products. One piece of housekeeping, I would ask if you have any questions that you'd like to submit, please do so via the question panel in your GoToWebinar in your GoToWebinar screen. And I think with that, I'll turn it over to Bob so he can do the presentation.
Thank you, John. Well, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. It's another Tech Tuesday. This time it's with Bob. I cover the South Zone of the U.S., pretty much from the Carolinas to Texas and everything in between, if you will. Today we're going to talk about our projector lineup, primarily some of the new enhancements that we have coming out, either now or in the very, very near future, as well as some programs that we have, and couple of other exciting things that I think you'll like. First off, just a little history. We are now on our 7th generation of laser projector. Our first one came out in 2013 with our VPL PH Z55, which was very popular, and the product line continues to grow and get stronger and stronger. We were the first 3 LCD laser light source projector, and we continue to get better all the time. Some of the things that we've done in our product lineup, going from top left over, we're making some slight changes in our high brightness, large venue projectors. Soon we were going to have our VPL FHZ 131, 101, and 91. They're going to be a little bit brighter. They're going to eventually replace the VPL FHZ 120 and 90, if you're familiar with those, with some new enhancements, which I'll talk about in a second. The VPL FHZ 75 and 70 continue to do very, very well with intelligent settings. We are coming out with a updated version of the VPL PH Z10, which is going to be the Z12, with a couple of nice enhancements. And then we're going to introduce a new entry-level VPL CW Z10. Moving on, a couple of things I want to point out. All of them have intelligent settings, which means they have presets, depending on if you use a museum, classrooms, maybe you're doing multiple screens or edge butting. Also, we're incorporating in the projectors a new feature that a lot of people have been asking for, is emulation mode. So now you can actually go in and select the manufacturer in a advanced user mode within the projector, and it's all documented. And now you can select which manufacturer you're going to be replacing, so you don't have to reprogram the control system. A couple of things on this. Yes, it's a great eye chart, but one thing I wanted to point out, our CWZ10, which I mentioned, is our new entry-level projector. It's going to be 5,000 lumens. It's going to have a great, it's pretty wide lens. It's not going to have any kind of zoom or focus. I'm sorry, it's not going to have any lens shift. Sorry about that. And it's not going to have a self-cleaning filter, and it won't do emulation. So it is kind of an entry-level, really targeted more K through 12. More on that to follow. The other thing I wanted to point out on the new high brightness projectors is now all of the models are going to support HDSDI or with the BKM PJ20 interface card, optional card, where we kind of didn't completely support it across the board, but now that's been changed. We've also in the new lineup, we've added in the VPL PHC12 as well as the higher brightness projectors. We've updated the optical block. So now we have a built-in optical compensator. And what that is basically it improves the black levels. It's kind of a black filter, if you will, to kind of get some of the areas where in the past LCD projectors potentially may have had an issue. That's all been eliminated. And it really it makes a big difference. We also have a new lens for we've got a whole bunch of different lenses for the install projectors, pretty much ultra short throw or a short throw all the way up to a long throw on the high brightness projectors, and then an ultra short throw to long throw for our, I like to call it the 60 series. The laser light series, as you can see, does not have any kind of optional lenses. Just wanted to throw this in. We had a gap in our low end lensing or short throw lensing on the large venue high brightness projectors, so like the 131, 121, 91 projectors. So now we have since filled that gap. It's something we needed and it works great. This lens will also work with the VPL FHZ 120 and 90, but it does need potentially a software update, which is available for free, or you can also download it. It's available on our website as well. And thank goodness you can either update it through the Ethernet port or through a USB stick. So if you need more information, you can contact your local SSE or our product operational support center, but it is available now. Some of the common features that I like to always kind of point out, we're 3 LCD. We've always been 3 LCD for the most part, but that goes way back. All of our models have reality creation, which I'll talk about in a minute. I mentioned emulation mode. All of our models, with the exception of one, have self-cleaning filters, and that's the CW10. Pretty much all of the current models, for the most part, have intelligent settings, and we all have auto calibration now. I like this little graphic because it sort of shows the difference between the two technologies. The one on the left is 3 LCD, and if you notice, we're actually splitting out red, green, and blue through dichroic filters, where we have 3 simultaneous channels of color at all times, where the one on the right, the single chip DLP, now you're kind of time slicing, a little bit of green, then we're going to go throw in some blue, and then we're going to throw in some red. So, and you never get a true reproduction of the image you're trying to display. I've done many demos over the years against the DLP technology, and I can tell you, I can't recall when I've lost a shootout on doing a single chip versus 3 LCD. And I've got several different slides, but one of them I like to do is I'll take the corporate logo, and I can tell you, if you can't make Coke red, Ford blue, or John Deere green, you will be asked to leave. And I've actually been in demos where they have been asked to please go away. So again, I just like this slide. All right, moving on. Come on. Okay. The other thing I'd mention, reality creation. It's something that we added, I guess it's been in our projectors now for about 3 years. It started with the VPL FHZ66 or 60 series. And the whole idea behind it is the projector will actually interrogate or analyze the input signal. And the whole idea is what you feed it out of your PC or camera or whatever the case may be. You want the end result to be the same thing on the screen. So it actually goes in and analyzes it, and it comes to the closest pattern if possible. If you notice down at the bottom, it says detail signal versus the output of the signal. It actually is that good, and it gives it, some hard lines where it gives it actually detail where you didn't even notice until you analyzed the picture that close. Also, we have mentioned the self-cleaning filters. This is just an example of what happens. After about 100 hours, the projector will say, okay, it's time to clean. When the projector's turned off, you'll actually hear 3 thumps. And I've actually had people call me and go, okay, the projector's making noise. What's it doing? It's thumping 3 times. Well, your filter's clean now. So, and it just falls down. I mentioned the intelligent settings earlier. This is kind of what we're doing, and the different targets, they are presets built into the projector. Again, you don't have to use them. You can tweak the heck out of this projector if you want to. But in the, you got meeting room and classroom, the whole idea, typically you need more brightness, and that's what it gives you. Museums, you don't need so much brightness, but you need pure color reproduction, and in entertainment, of course, you don't need a lot of brightness, but you need quiet, or you need to be very, very quiet, like it indicates here. And then multi-screen, I like to use this if you're doing edge budding or blending. So, and it just makes it easier to match the 2 projectors together. Typically, 9 times out of 10, they'll match almost identical. But if you need to go tweak, it just makes life a lot easier. Just to carry it one step further, we got some different brightness curves depending on what mode you're using, and if you're going to have, what kind of noise levels. The noise levels on a lot of these applications are key. So it's kind of illustrating when in this case, you've got it turned off, and you've got, only thing you want is brightness. So you get about over 20,000 hours, you'll get the most brightness decay. And as you can see, depending on what you're using, it stays flat over time. Also, there's also a new state, or what we call intelligent settings 2. It will actually also adjust the brightness depending on the usage over time as well. So it'll even extend this curve out a little further than what's illustrated here. I mentioned the protocol emulation. This is the different levels that we have. So in the case of this series here, we have custom protocol emulation. And what that means is, if you have to convert the protocol to a CVS file, and then you actually import it into the projector. Simple is where you actually go in and identify the manufacturer that you're using. And it's basic things like you turn the projector on, off, input settings, those kind of things. Again, it's a whole document. It's great for reading if you're suffering insomnia. However, it is full of information. It'll let you know everything you need to do to get this functioning. Currently on the CW, on our projectors itself, we've got some promotions going on. In the VPL CW Z10, right now until the end of June, buy 10, get 1 free. Check with your account manager or channel partners for details. So, and of course, we have other great things going on. This is a program that was actually just rolled out April 1st. It's our advanced exchange program. It's for Pro Bravias and our projectors. It's actually based on, if you're familiar with our Pro Bravia warranty program, it's very, very similar to that. Now it's for projectors as well. And I know this is a lot of stuff to read, and I'm not going to read it. I'm going to summarize it for you. So the bottom line is, this is on the projectors, 3 years standard warranty. I'm sorry, on the Pro Bravias is a 3-year standard warranty with a 5-year option. If you have a defective unit, you call in the 800 number, which is here, or email Pro Support, and they will start the process of either getting your panel replaced or your projector. And it isn't within the warranty period, which is for the projectors, it's 5 years or 12,000 hours. What'll happen is, once you contact pro support for Exchange. You get a series of basic troubleshooting questions. There's a good chance they'll ask you for a copy of the invoice. Once that process is started, the whole thing behind it, especially with projectors, on our previous program, we had a exchange where we sent you a projector. You had to drop the defective one down. You could put the other one up. You send it in. You got to mount it twice. That is all since we've eliminated that, which I'm very, very happy about. Some support information. pro.sony.com/laser is our main support page. We have a throw distance calculator on there now. It is web-based. We also have Android and iOS for Projector Simulator. I use all of them. I use both the Android because I have an Android phone, as well as the PC-based or the web-based version all the time. I know this is a long link, but this is a direct link to update, so it'll work with the new lens. And then we talked about warranty replacement, and this is the 800 number and the web address for the pro support. And with that, I'm done rambling. I thank you for your patience and time. And
Hey, very good, Bob. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. We do have questions that are coming in, so we'll get to those in a second. I did want to just remind everyone of a couple of things. Please join us next week for another Tech Tuesday. We're going to go over the Bravia Pro displays, specifically the Pro settings mode, and we'll have a live demo for a specific room configuration. Also, in the chat box, I've put a couple of links, a couple of those that Bob had already mentioned, and I'm also adding another link here for our YouTube channel, which has a playlist of all of our previously conducted Tech Tuesday presentations. So if you missed any and you'd like to go back and take a look, by all means, please do so. The web link is there now in the chat box. Also wanted to remind both our reseller channel partners and end users, if you want to see or hear anything in greater detail about our projectors or a specific projector model, by all means, we can do a customized webinar for your specific application, your specific area of interest. So end users, please reach out to your Sony channel partner or your account manager. And resellers and channel partners, please reach out to your local Sony contact and we can put that together for you. And with that, we'll jump into the questions. There are quite a few, so I will start from the beginning. Okay, Corey, question from Corey says, on the Z, I think he means the Z120 projector, the slide says it now accepts Extron XTP. Does it also take DTP in as well?
Anthony, do you know for sure?
I don't know that for sure. I know that there are two different schemes. The XTP and DTP are, one is of a handshake system where it recognizes the display and loads the current protocols. The DTP, we're going to have to get back to you on that. I believe it's backwards compatible, but I'm not 100% sure. So we'll have to get back to you on that one.
Yeah, I'm not 100% either. Anyway, okay, John.
So Corey, just to let you know, we do have everyone's contact information and we do capture all of the questions. So we will be getting back to you. Ed has a question. He asks, what brands are included for emulation?
Without looking, Panasonic, Epson, NEC, Mitsubishi, and I want to say one other. Anthony, does that sound about right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Patrick has a question. Are the PHZ-10 projectors still selling and available? And when will the PHZ-12s be available?
It is my understanding the Z10s are going to ship next 30 to 45 days, I believe. The Z12 June, July timeframe. Does that sound about right, Anthony?
Yes, it does. That's correct.
Okay.
And we have a related question. When will the new VPL FHZ 131L and VPL FHZ 101L model lenses be shipping?
The new lens,
I'm sorry, the VPL FHZ 131L and the VPL FHZ 101 models.
well, I got to go back. I got to cheat now. Sorry.
The lens is available now, if that's the
Yeah,
question.
the new lens is available.
Okay.
Let me just. The 131 is June timeframe, May timeframe, and June timeframe, as you can see at the top of that slide.
Was that the
Starting
question,
to ship.
John, or was it related to the lens?
That is the question. I apologize. VPL
Okay.
FHZ 131L, VPH FHZ 101L models.
Okay.
Those are the full models. Does the 13,000 lumen unit provide full light output at 110 volt power? That's from Corey
Yes.
also.
Yes. They're all 110 volts.
Okay, Matthew has a question. Thank you for doing this. What do you recommend for a portable projector a user could throw in a backpack for a boardroom setting?
I think the VPL CWZ10 would be really ideal for something like that. It's going to be smaller. I think the weight is 12 or 13 pounds. It is going to be a lot smaller. You could throw it in a backpack and use it in that application.
Okay, Ed asks, do all installation series models now include 3G SDI inputs?
Only the large venues, so the VPL FHZ 131, 121, 91, and the VPL FHZ 120 will accept HD SDI. The Z90 does not. It never did, unfortunately.
Okay, Dave has a question. He says, since there is a self-cleaning filter, which is nice, is there any other maintenance one should do in order to keep the projector in good working order?
In normal environments, outside of manufacturing sheetrock, most office and classroom environments for the most part are pretty good. So not really. Not that I have run across. I haven't not heard of anybody having issues with airflow and projectors, except for sheetrock manufacturers. But anyway, sorry, it's a bad joke. But no.
Okay, a related question from Paul. Where does the dust go after the filter self-cleans?
On the table. That's funny. I get that question all the time. Initially, it just drops into the chassis or down on the table, and we leave it for the cleaning crew to pick up later. But after 100 hours, it's so fine, and there's very little. I've done this. I've activated the self-cleaning filter in a lot of demos, and quite frankly, I've never seen anything really fall out of it. So I don't think it's a big issue. It's not going to be enough to cause issues anyway.
Jeffrey asks, where can I go to update the firmware on the VPL PHZ-10?
Contact the pro support people. There's a process. It's a little bit different. If you go to this website right here and request the software update for the Z10, they will be able to assist you. I actually had a conversation with the individual that's in charge of pro support, and he told me how that process is. So he'll give you all the tools that you need to update it.
Brendan asks, he says he's sorry he missed the presentation. Will you be sending out a recording? So Brendan, in the chat box, I did provide a link to our YouTube playlist where we're putting all of the recorded Tech Tuesday presentations. We generally post them by the end of the week, so this one will be posted there as well. Another question from Corey. What type of SDI inputs are supported? Will it accept 3G SDI, for example?
Yes, it will.
Okay. Ed asks, do any models accept 4K input?
They do not.
But we do have a
4K
line
projector.
of VPL GTZ series 4K projectors, which we'll be having a webinar, Tech Tuesday webinar on in one of the upcoming sessions. I believe we are scheduled for June the 2nd. Okay. Let's see. And I think those are the bulk of the questions. Here's another one. What is the difference between the custom protocol emulation and the simple protocol emulation?
Okay, custom is where you have to create a CVS file or text file based on the protocol of the unit that you're replacing, and you import it in the projector. Simple is where you go into the projector and identify the model that is being replaced by manufacturer. So it's a lot more elegant than it was in, I guess, emulation mode phase 1 versus phase 2.
We have another question from Allah. Do we have outdoor projectors?
We do not, unless you take them outside at night. Sorry, but no, we don't have anything that's rated for outdoor use all the time.
Okay, and just a clarification to an earlier question regarding the 131L and the 101L projectors. Confirmed from marketing that they will be shipping by mid-May, so middle of this month.
Okay, good.
And I believe that those are all the questions. There are a couple. Ed, I know that you've got a question here. We're going to answer that one offline. And Corey, we will get back to you on the Extron DTP.
Correct.
So again, I remind everyone to please join us next week for our Bravia Pro displays, Tech Tuesday presentation, Pro Settings demonstration, and live room configuration. I wish to thank everyone for your time. We know it's valuable. We know that you're busy, and we certainly appreciate your attention. Thanks, everyone, and look forward to seeing you next week.
Thanks, everyone.